So imagine now you have pain. Okay, let's say, it doesn't matter what pain. Someone calls you, whatever, and you're running to help that person. Where's your pain now?
Your pain goes away. When you're not thinking about yourself, your pain goes away.
What about soldiers carrying their friend for miles? What about their pain? Maybe a wounded too.
Right? They don't feel until the very end when they see somebody else.
When they see the help, they start thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Then you feel the pain.
Right. It's like the mother who goes in and saves the child. She doesn't think about herself.
Nothing. I'm Rony Sussan, and I teach and counsel spirituality and wellness in the Havayah Center. We opened the center in 2018, but I teach and study over 25 years. And there's so much that we can do and help so many different people, so many different ways. And we decided in the first episode to invite Richard Obedian, that he's an orthopedic surgeon, and he already here, so he might say a few words about himself.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Rony. I'm Dr. Richard Obedian. I'm an orthopedic spine surgeon. I went to medical school at Columbia University, and I did my internship in general surgery at NYU, and then a residency in orthopedics at Hospital for Joint Diseases, which is now NYU, Langone Orthopedics. And then I did another year of training in spinal surgery and scoliosis surgery at the Hospital for Special Surgery. And I've been in private practice on Long Island for over 25 years. And I've been involved with the Havayah Center since its inception. And I'm thrilled to be the first guest. And looking forward to having a great conversation regarding different manifestations of pain and the body and the soul. So without further ado, what interests me is, as an orthopedic surgeon, people always come to see me with a chief complaint. And usually it's, I have pain in my back, I have pain in my shoulder, I have pain in various different body parts. And it's our job as an orthopedic surgeon to try to see the cause of their pain. And as a medical doctor, we're always looking for the physical causes. But what I've learned after being in practice for a long period of time is that, it's not just what's physical, because there are a lot of patients who will have changes on an X-ray or an MRI that should be causing them a lot of pain, and yet they have no pain. And also vice versa. They'll come in excruciating pain, and their imaging studies will not show anything significant. And the question is, why is that? How do different people feel pain differently? And what goes into that? There's anxiety, there's depression, there's how they were raised as a child, and different things come back to haunt them, and it can manifest itself in pain. So I think it's really helpful to get a spiritual perspective on pain, and that's where Rony comes in.
So overall, we have to know that pain is supposed to be only to warn the person, to help the person. So there is something. Overall, we don't have control over our brain the way we think we do. It's like a person think about everything, think even about love. Love, it's emotion, it's not thinking. And we do think. So the first thing to know about pain overall is the person doesn't love himself.
Yeah, interesting.
Then the person is too hard on himself. The pain is worse. And when a person beat himself for whatever reason, guilt or whatever, then people can have pain, nothing to do with any organ in the body.
Yeah. Because there's actually a condition where it's a disease where people do not feel pain. And you would think, it's great. You don't feel pain. What could be better than that? But it's actually very dangerous not to feel pain, because when you don't feel pain, a child will put their hand on a hot stove and they'll immediately pull it away so they don't burn their finger. But if you don't feel that pain, you'll leave it there, and you can burn your finger. And the same thing is true. If you don't feel pain and you break your ankle, you'll keep on walking and make things much worse for yourself. So pain is God's way of warning you that something is going wrong. You get attention for it.
But that's very important to understand that. But on the other hand, some people have pain because of attention.
Yes.
They don't feel love.
No, I think it's very, very true. And that would explain why somebody's coming in with excruciating back pain and their MRI doesn't show a herniated disc, it shows some mild disc degeneration. And what I will often tell people is, if we had gotten this MRI a few months ago, it would have shown the exact same thing. This isn't the cause of your pain. You can't run to do an operation based on this MRI, because this is not, the real source of your pain is something else. But a lot of times, it's spiritual. And we don't, as orthopedic surgeons, and as medical doctors, that's something that we never learned about in medical school. They don't teach us about it, about the soul. We only learn the physical.
There is also a very important thing that we all have to do. When I meet people one-on-one, according to the date of birth, not astrology, according to the soul, what happened in the previous life, that we're not going to go, it's deep, but it's not so deep if you start to understand the system in this universe. You were born with weak points that anything that happened to you emotionally will trigger them and the problem starts. It means a person born with those weak points. And when I tell a person sometimes, be careful on the tie or be careful on your face, says, how do you know? I already have it. So when you can change that spiritually, not physically.
Yeah, no, that's very true, because we often will see patients who will have stress, or will have anxiety, or will have something that causes them severe pain, and it can manifest itself as neck pain or back pain or chest pain. It's a real heart problem, but they get the manifestation from the stress. They can get an ulcer. It's a real problem, but it's brought on because of the stress, because of the anxiety, and probably, like you said, because of something in their previous life that is bringing this onto them.
And fear causes pain. Why people don't connect pain with fear?
That's a good question.
They don't. Because it's actually totally together, those two. We use it as a word of fear. We think it's just fear of something. Anxiety, it actually doesn't exist. It's in your mind.
Yeah, that's very true.
So what does it mean, pain and fear? When a person has fear, the fear is that I'm not going to have the pain that I already remember. That's why there is fear. Think about it. Why are you afraid? It triggers a memory that it's not a rational memory. It's a very deep memory.
Could explain why some people there's a condition used to be called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, or complex regional pain syndrome, where a person gets pain that's out of proportion. Their entire extremity becomes not paralyzed, but useless because they're in so much pain. And you can't explain why they have this pain. Usually something triggers it, whether it's a trauma or an operation or something, and their pain, their body gets into this cycle of pain, causing worsening pain and spasm, and worsening pain and worsening spasm, and then the body itself, the vessels start to shrink, the hair doesn't grow in the arm, the muscle shrinks, and they're racked with constant severe pain, and it's very difficult to treat this.
But
it's real.
It's the memory of a person when you have pain. Anytime it's hold the memory, you don't really have the pain anymore.
So you think it was from their previous life?
Even previous, or even just, let's say 6 months ago, you have a pain, and the pain stays in the memory. So, for example, we don't think there is a difference between pain in the knee, in the neck, or in the shoulder. There is.
Yeah.
Totally. Shoulders, screaming, the person screaming for love. Who knows that? Shoulders is always screaming for love.
So they're feeling unloved.
You don't know how to let go. Stubborn. You think you're going to do it no matter what. It's my way or the highway.
You're a stiff-necked person.
Stiff-necked person.
Okay.
The minute you start to say, you know what, I need to be more spiritual. What does it mean to be spiritual? It's not just to study. It's to really see the reality, to accept some things, and to know that you are the only one that can create your reality, and you cannot blame anybody.
Right. You have to walk the walk, like you say.
Yeah, walk the walk. But you see, when we have something good in life, we take the credit.
Right. We didn't. It's all physical.
Now, something wrong, I'm going to find someone to blame. That's another problem. If you have a problem with the knees, you're also unflexible in your mind. This.
Also stubborn.
Stubborn. Different way, because stubbornness have so many different levels, And for example, if you tell a person, I'm sure you did many times, tell a person, you need to do this, this, and that, it's going to be good for you.
Yeah.
He does it maybe the first day. And then...
Yeah, because if somebody comes into my office and has neck pain or lower back pain, and the MRI doesn't show very much, maybe we'll give them some anti-inflammatory medication, Motrin, Naproxen. We start them on physical therapy, maybe injections, but really, it's time and what goes on during that time period. Because some people will swear that the acupuncturist cured them or that the chiropractor cured them or somebody else. Yeah. But really, I think it's resolving their, letting the body heal for one thing, but also resolving their own psychological and spiritual issues that are going on. Sometimes people need an operation, that's true. But the question is, when you have, especially in those situations where the imaging studies are kind of not really that conclusive but their pain is so bad, why is that? Why are they having so much pain? Is it, and you say it's something because of the emptiness, and depending on what part of the body is hurting, it could reflect a different need.
Yeah,
it's a cry for help.
Crying for help, but the person doesn't go to the right direction of pain.
So how do you approach somebody with neck pain or like what do you tell them?
The first thing that I ask the person, because sometimes I can see that I don't like to embarrass the person or to intimidate the person.
Sure.
Because I see things on people. The best way is to ask them the question.
And they'll tell you.
They will.
They'll tell you.
But they don't see the connection. Some people going with hating a brother or sister or anybody for years. And they don't see it could be the cause for any problem or any pain.
I think you're right. I've seen it in my own family.
You're holding, because what does that mean? When you hold something, it's not different than you say you're holding the past within you. You're not releasing the past. You have to make peace with the past. We have to know to create my future, even one day future, tomorrow, the cause is now. If you cannot let go of the past, imagine how much the person have to really understand and study what happened in my past future life that some people don't even believe exists.
But it's not so easy to let go of those.
It's not.
So how do you do it? How do you advise them? Is it meditation? Is it prayer? Is it, forgiveness? Well, what is the best way to do that?
Well, one thing. Really, it's one thing. It's really so simple that we don't really give it even a second thought about one word called desire. That we don't know what it means.
How would you define it?
Because desire for us is physical. I need to drink, I need to eat, I need to sit, I need to sleep, I need to walk, I need to work or whatever. So why the same parents have different kids and each one has different desire? If the DNA of the parents don't change, it's supposed to be 5 robots if they have 5 kids.
But sometimes what you desire is not what's good for you. We desire things that are, when you go to a meal, you desire the things that are not good for you. You want the bad things.
Right. But you see, you just said exactly what everybody is stuck with that. Some desires are not good for you because we don't understand what's desire.
So you're saying if we understood what desire is, we would make the right choice.
Everything in this world would change. It's going to be heaven. Just the word desire.
So can you give me an example?
The desire was designated for the light of the Creator. It's like if you take a bulb, it's a bulb, but it's not connected. We are the bulb. We have right, we have left. When we react, it's a short circuit. What happened in the short circuit in the bulb? The filament breaks and there's darkness.
There's poof, yeah.
Right? Strong light and then poof. You have to have patience. It holds the filament. It becomes central. You more balance. You need to know the desire is for the light. Like sometimes they do say, enlighten me.
Right.
Instead of saying, explain me, enlighten me. It's a big difference between enlightenment and understanding.
Right. So you think the pain comes from being out of balance?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's too much of one side. It means, let's say the desire is mainly to physicality. I am not even aware that I have a soul. You will have pain just to wake you up. The pain was not just to give you pain so you're going to suffer.
It's another warning, you're saying.
Just warning. You see, it's a different warning. That's why doctor sometimes says, You don't have anything. I had a student in Israel, in Haifa, that the doctors told they don't come anymore.
Well, there's this hypochondriacs, people who come to the doctor for nothing. All
For nothing.
yeah.
So
looking for
that's where the person, is really falling because the desire been designated. Think about it. The desire been designated to stay happy, alive, and loved. No straight. To choose life, it's not automatic. It's to choose it.
But what does it mean to choose life?
Choose life. It's very simple.
Because, you're born, you're alive. So what do you mean to choose? What is there to choose?
So, for example, if you think about choosing life, the minute you get upset, you didn't choose life. You got angry, you don't choose life. You get upset, you react. You don't choose life.
So not to react, to be proactive.
Proactive.
Better way.
You need to choose life. It means you know that life is connected to my soul. I'm hurting my soul when I'm doing all those negative reactions. And my soul is the only thing that keeps a person existing in this world.
And the goal for your soul should be what exactly? To be giving, to help other people, to love other people like you love yourself.
Right. I mean, you cannot be selfish. Why? It's so well known not to be selfish. I'm not saying that there's not selfish people, and also many levels. Why? People do know, some more, some less. It's because, you see, if you take the Dead Sea, it's an example. How can it be it's Dead Sea when it's receiving only fresh water? It's because it doesn't share anything. There's no opening coming out of the Dead Sea. It's only receiving.
So as a person, you want to be a conduit. You want to let things pass through you.
So imagine now you have pain. Okay, let's say, it doesn't matter what pain. Someone calls you, whatever, and you're running to help that person. Where's your pain now?
Your pain goes away. When you're not thinking about yourself, your pain goes away.
What about soldiers carrying their friend for miles? What about their pain? And maybe a wounded too.
Right. They don't feel it until the very end when they see somebody else.
When they see the help, they start thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
Then you feel the pain.
Right. It's like the mother who goes in and saves the child. She doesn't think about herself.
Nothing. So when you really start to study the system, there's a system, the whole universe we are part of. We look at it as nothing to do with us. Vegetation is there, animals there, insect is there, and we are here. No, it's all one. It says that if you kill all the insects in this world, goodbye for the world. You heard about it?
Yes.
So pain isn't just supposed to be warning. What about pain in the fingers, in the arm? Why some people stiff, right? Think about it. How's natural way of hand? Is it like this, open? No. That's natural? How is it? Like this?
This.
So it's more what? Receiving. And look at the movement. When I do that, it's reaching out.
To give.
And this way.
To receive.
But wait. Now you want to give me something. Now I'm selfish. I'm like this, only for me. Okay, you want to give me something. What do I have to do?
Unclench your fist.
So then it means I have to give to receive. Even the movement, so that means when there is so much pain, is because, okay, also at different levels, but when you have pain in your hands, you have to start thinking there is something wrong spiritually within me. We call it nefesh. You have to start walking the walk. You cannot just think that you are helping or this and that there, because there's many levels of sharing and giving.
Because a lot of people will think, oh, I'm sad or depressed because I don't have money. But when they have the money, they're still sad and depressed.
Yeah.
It's because they're not giving, because their life is empty. You need meaning in your life. You need a higher desire, higher calling, something to live for.
Yeah, something to.
Like the hostages who survived in Gaza, they had the ones who survived had a higher calling. They were living for something else. Like Eli Sharabi was always thinking about his wife and his children. He wanted to live for that.
Well, there's many stories in the Holocaust. They survived just because they were thinking
Of somebody
of
else.
someone else. And inside the camp, they were helping each other. So when you think about really why people have less pain, more pain, how does it work, then you start to understand that it's a system. It's not the same. Is everybody have the same pain?
Yeah.
Even how many people we know that the cause of pain in the arm, it's in the neck.
That's true.
The cause of pain in the leg is in
Lower back.
lower back. So some people start to know it, but most of the time. I had someone in Dallas, friend of student, by phone, not even Zoom. I asked her, do this, tell me what you feel. Do this, tell me what you feel. So I told her, do 3 times a day, just for a minute. Do this move and tell me if you're going to be okay. If not, we're going to modify it. And she couldn't work for a month. She didn't call me after 2 weeks. I said, okay, either it didn't work or
She's better, right?
so I couldn't. My student says, what's with your friend? I said, she's in heaven. She's so good. She's so happy she forgot to call me.
You fixed her.
You fixed
Yeah.
on the phone because there's some moves that you have to understand. It corresponds to your consciousness, the way you behave, the way you think, the way you see, the way you hear, the way you judge everything. Why you answer this way, not that way? All that is connected to different organs in your body.
And how do you get control over that?
That's why a person have to know. If I'll tell you, you're going now to China, do you need eventually to study, if you want to live there, you need to study the language?
Right, sure.
If someone comes from anywhere to the United States, he wants to work, he wants to deal with it, he needs to study the language. So why shouldn't we study the language of the soul and body and how we are part of the universe?
So that's the language of the branches.
Yes, we call it the language of the branches because it's all connected. The cause and effect. Can you have seed of apple tree that I'm going to plant and it's going to come banana?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. That's what we think.
But everything is cause and effect.
Everything is cause and effect. So we need to study it. We cannot just believe. Yes, we need to believe. You know when you believe, when it's true belief, when you know. You can't believe when you don't know what it is and how it is. How can you believe? Belief is very powerful. Faith, emunah we call it. Faith is very powerful. But when you know, not when you don't know. Let's say your car stuck every 5 minutes. It stops. You believe that car to drive out of the city. No, okay, so it's different. You need to know. That faith becomes very powerful because you know how the system works. You know every part of your body and you know it's connected to your soul. You cannot just say soulmate. What about phantom pain?
Yeah, it's a real thing, phantom pain. People will have an amputation and they will complain of pain in that limb and it's not there anymore.
And scratching?
And they feel it's itchy or it's painful or it's numb, tingling.
Yeah.
And they're very uncomfortable with it.
So does it make sense? Like in a rational mind?
Should it be there? But it's there.
It's that.
It's real.
It's the sun.
Yeah.
Same thing about everything. Everything is like that.
But how do you approach somebody who has phantom pain? And what do you tell them to make the phantom pain get better? What's the treatment?
Okay. So first, the person have to be open. Again, desire. He's willing to be open, to understand that it's not just what you know and what some people tell you. You need to start making much deeper.
Change.
And you say deeper, and not too deep, but deeper connection with your own soul.
You said before that the pain was you didn't love yourself. So it's part of that.
Yeah, exactly. So do we know what it means to love myself? To love myself, for most people, is I bought a new car, I have a new house, or a new kitchen, or a new sofa, or more shoes or clothes, or I got a gift. It's not love myself. Imagine a person stuck in the desert, and all the things that he have, all the money that he have, is not in the desert. How is he going to love himself? When he's stuck there and he's thirsty and he doesn't have food, then he's stuck.
Well, you can't take it with you. You can't take it with you anyway.
Anywhere?
At the end of your life.
Exactly. I have a student that taught me something so beautiful. He says, my mother told me, one day when you're going to die, you're not going to see the armed car coming to the cemetery with all your money.
That's right. Yeah, you can't take it.
So you need to make a connection with your soul. You need to start to understand and to believe, to understand first, to know all the parts of your soul. There's 5 parts, and how they work. And what do you need to do to elevate? Did you hear the word to elevate yourself from level to your next level? What does it mean, next level? I'm standing on the floor here. What's the next level?
Yeah, I think a lot of the problems that most people don't believe that they have a soul.
Right.
Yeah. They don't understand what a soul is.
So let's say a person doesn't have a soul. Okay. I say to the person, you know what? I believe you that you're not supposed to be emotional or upset or happy or depressed or anything, because that's not the body. I never saw my hand happy.
Right.
Or my leg or my any organ. So happiness is something to do with what? Exactly.
So your higher emotions is really your soul.
Yes, exactly.
It's your soul manifesting itself.
And depressed, it means your soul is blocked. And you sad, when you're angry, it's blocked. It's like you locked the soul inside your body, and the body becomes the jail. Think about it. When a person is happy, his body also jumping and dancing.
Right.
Jumping even. Wow, I'm so happy. Look what happened. I got the deal or whatever. So don't jump. So the body manifests. The soul is jumping actually.
When you're happy.
Yeah. Same thing, the whole thing. That's how it works.
And it's funny because when people are in pain and they go on vacation, their pain seems to get better. They're relaxing and it's good for their soul. To do these vacations or trips, or when they're with their family, they feel better than when they're alone. All these things help the soul.
Yeah. People, especially here in the United States, they have to stop being isolated. You can have 20 years neighbor. Maybe you wait.
Right. You don't even talk.
But that's it.
Well, that's where volunteering comes in. You can volunteer, go to the, and that.
Yeah. So that's, again, you're going outside of yourself.
Yeah. I think that helps a lot.
A lot.
Helps a lot, keeping busy, but busy helping other people.
I always help depressed people if they have body pain. So many places also. Go volunteer. Now your mind is in what? Other people.
Yeah. You're not thinking about yourself anymore.
That's it.
I think that helps a lot. There's a lot of they call it psychosomatic in medicine, that your mind is making you get physical pain. If they'll have pain in their back, they'll have pain all over. And there are even conditions, like there's a condition called fibromyalgia, where the treatment is an antidepressant, because you can't find anything wrong with their muscles or their bones or their ligaments, their joints. Everything is okay, but they're in constant pain. And they treat them by giving them antidepressant, but really it's probably a problem of the soul.
Yes, and what about all the pain? They call it painkiller, become the killer.
Yeah, it is a
I
killer.
mean, look,
It just numbs you.
3 years ago, it was about 79,000 young people in the United States that died from the painkiller.
I think opioids.
2 years ago, it was 81. This year went to 120.
It's terrible.
So it means
It's getting worse.
it's getting worse. And people, instead of healing themselves the way we're talking about, have to be from within. They go to the instant, but then they become addicted.
Because it's easy to turn to a pill. They're looking for an easy answer to the pain.
It's easy, you take it and you continue with your misery, you continue with your sadness.
Doesn't change the cause of it.
Nothing. You don't. So, see, the person that we love to make the change in his life is when the pain is too much.
Right.
Then the pain of change is nothing. We're afraid to change. We're afraid to even know about the soul because now you're going to be committed to the soul and you have to start doing things differently.
There are obligations we have a soul. We got to take care of the soul.
Till now.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but the minute you understand it,
It becomes easy.
It becomes easy.
Right. But in their mind, they think it's going to be very difficult.
It becomes everything you know become easy. That's why knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. Think about it. But since you start studying spirituality, how much you know then and how much you know today.
Oh, yeah. So much. And it changes your perspective. Understand what's really causing the pain.
And you can use it also to help others.
Absolutely. And I make a good living, but I could make a much better living if I operated everybody who came in with pain. But most of them don't need surgery. They need time and they need to focus on what's really going on. And by talking to them, you get an idea for really what's happening. And you realize that, because if you operate on them, they're going to be very unhappy. And they're not going to get better. The pain's going to still be there. And you're going to have an office full of unhappy patients. So what they really need is some spiritual guidance or psychological help or something to get them out of that train of thought.
And the healing become faster too.
Much faster.
Much faster.
Yeah. Certain conditions need treatment. They need surgeries, but not everything. So you have to make the right choice. When I was a resident, there was a famous orthopedic surgeon who showed us an X-ray of a very bad fracture of the clavicle that was displaced. And he says to each of us, ask me any question, I'll answer it. Tell me what you would do. So we all had ideas, you should fix it with a plate or with a rod, with multiple screws. Yes, and he says, you're all wrong. You didn't ask me the most important question. He said, what's the most important question? He said, you're treating the X-ray. Look at the patient. You didn't ask me, is the patient having any pain? Patient's fine. They're doing everything. They're using their arm. They're not complaining of anything. Don't treat the X-ray. Treat the patient. The same thing is true for spine and other problems. So spiritually, it's very, very important to know what the cause is. It's sometimes very hard to figure that out.
Yeah.
What's the cause, and then because the pain is really the effect. So if you can find the cause, then you can stop it.
Problem in family, for example, we call it like it's heavy. It is. It's like heavy. It makes so much pressure on the spine, more than the physical weight of the body.
100%. Yeah.
And then it bursts, and this pressure causes so much pain. Person cannot sleep, cannot do anything. Then when he treated spiritually and he started to let go and to release himself from the pressure,
It gets better. It goes away.
So I would say there's really two things that a person can heal himself. And it's so important, not just to heal the body. And it can heal relationship, can heal business, can heal anything. It's two things that we have to start understanding, study it, and do something about it.
Yes.
It's happiness and love. But love, not the way we look at that. The way we look at it, I love you, you love me. No. First, love your friend or your neighbor as yourself. So first, if you don't love yourself, you will have pain, not today, tomorrow, not here, in different organs. So first, the person have to know. To love myself, as I said before, but I'm going to say it again, is when you don't react, you don't judge, you don't get angry. All those things, you don't love yourself. That's first to help any person to heal himself. Happiness is the highest level that can heal anything. But to be happy, you have to start training yourself. It means to study, to understand, and to train yourself to be happy on no condition. Not if I get this, or if I fix this, or if I without if, no condition. To be happy is something much deeper.
Right.
Content, what we would think it's happiness, it's not happiness. To be content, it's okay. But to be happy, you have to start seeing that you are here in this world for a purpose.
That's the key.
That's the key. It cannot be that you are here only eat, drink, sleep. That's mostly, and you working.
Which is most of the population.
Most of the population. So all the hospitals are full of people that really are miserable. You remember the movie Patch Adam?
Sure.
What did he try to do? And they didn't accept him.
Want to make people happy.
Make people happy.
Yeah.
We have to remember, we need to study to be happy. You cannot be happy because to be upset and angry or anything negative, you don't have to make any effort.
Wait.
Everything else, you have to make it effort. And that's how a person has to heal every organ in his body, because it's actually healing and enlightening his soul within. Then the soul is connected to every part in every organ of our body. Think about it when you have fear, you feel stomach pain. Why? Well, usually. Okay, so we need to start knowing a little bit. Not just, I'm eating this or eating this, that's enough. It's not enough. You have to practice it. And when we do, it's going to be good for all of us.